Welcome back to the channel, everyone. And as you know, if you follow the channel, I've been tinkering with the JVGA Golf Swing, or the Jim Venetos Golf Swing. The Cole's notes of this swing is it's a swing that's supposed to be simple, which is great whenever you hear that. And it's supposed to be, kind of focus on the lead side, because Jim really believes that the lead arm really dictates the swing, which is great for me because I'm a lead arm dominant golfer. I'm a right-handed player who plays left-handed. So I'm always feeling like golf instruction doesn't maybe fit me exactly, because a lot of it is from a trail hand perspective. So when I'm hearing Jim talk about the lead hand dominating the golf swing, that really resonates with me. Long story short, I've started to play with Jim's swing over the last few months. I've posted videos testing out the swing with my sand wedge, with a pitching wedge, 8-iron, and even playing 9 holes virtually. But along the way, as I kind of reflect on my own swing and look back at the video, and because of you, the user, comments are coming in and pointing out things that I'm probably doing wrong or incorrectly. So this video is all about pointing out those things that I've noticed that either through your comments and direction or through watching more of Jim's videos, I've recognized that I'm making these mistakes. So here are the top 5 mistakes that I'm making with the Jim Venetos Golf Swing. And maybe you can check to see if you're making these too, and maybe we can help each other out. So the number one thing that I've noticed is that I have a lot of knee flex and a lot of knee movement in the swing. Probably a lot more than I ought to for a swing that really is predicated on stillness. So I'm watching videos and some users have pointed out I'm just getting too much movement going on in my knees, and I totally do. So in fact, this is one of the things I'm struggling with the Jim Venetos Golf Swing. Is the JV swing really talks about stillness, maintaining stillness. And I just don't want to in the golf swing. I want to move a little bit. I want to shift a little bit. So I'm working through that, but it's probably the thing that I'm finding the most difficult. Add to that, there is a little nuance in this, as we've pointed out, which gets me to a later point. It's not like there's zero movement and there's not zero athleticism at the end. I think I kind of got off track, especially in the video I did with my 8-iron, where I was trying to be way too rigid, and that results in poor shots and a loss of power as well. So you kind of have to balance it out. But I am going to have to work on that. Some of you have recommended that I straighten my leg a little bit and just focus on keeping it straight. So that's something that I am going to work on as I go forward. Just a little less knee flex and definitely less knee movement in the swing. Number 2, still focusing on the theme of too much movement. My shoulders are probably rotating and turning too much as well. So Jim talks about the arms just do their thing without, too much shoulder rotation, really, because you're already setting up close. So your shoulders shouldn't have to do very much. You just kind of let the arms do it. But I kind of still have that tendency to want to rotate, which is interesting because in the main golf swing, or say main, in a regular golf swing, I probably don't rotate enough. But then with Jim's swing, I'm still trying to rotate too much. So it's kind of strange, but I do think that's an issue for me while I'm playing with this as well. So I'm going to work on rotating my shoulders less, along with keeping those knees still. Okay, so for point number 3 is really my grip, and then kind of the club position, or how the club should be angled towards your body. And this clarification came straight from Jim as he was giving feedback to one of his students who happens to be posting some of the videos he sends into Jim. His channel's called Golf Asterisk, like literally there's an asterisk after golf. I'll link to this in the comments section below, so you can go check out that channel as well. But it is helpful listening to Jim talk to a real student. And here he really outlines clearly where the butt end of the club should be in relationship to your closed body. So let's take a listen to that and get some insight out of it.
For every club, if you pivot and you set close and then you grip and you sole the club, the butt of the club should be pointed towards the inside of your left hip, kind of where the hip bone, kind of where the hip meets the groin or the thigh meets the groin, inside a soft and tender spot. That's where the butt of the club should be pointed towards. And that's with all clubs through the bag. And as far as the club face goes, you know how to square a club face. And then from there, if it doesn't feel right, don't give it too much credit, because that's just a feeling. And you also have to go through an adaptation period with those long.
So there we go. So Jim's talking about where the butt end of the club should be in relationship to your body when you take that stronger grip. So this is kind of a combo. Club position / where the shaft is leaning / pointing to, plus a stronger grip in relationship to my body. So that's the third mistake I've been making, and I'm going to try to rectify it. The fourth mistake that I've been making is a little bit interesting because I feel like I'm not dynamic enough in the finish. Like I'm not being athletic enough. So in some ways, I hear being still and I'm thinking, okay, that's not an athletic move. But as Jim points out, you can still be still through impact and then finish athletically as well. And there was a viewer who pointed out that Jim almost does a slight hip bump forward, almost like a slight shift as he's completing the downswing. And I was trying to stay very, very still. There's definitely a bit of a weight shift. And interestingly, when I speak about the next point, Jim himself talks about how his weight slightly changes throughout the swing. So even though we're told stillness, while we are focused on stillness, that doesn't mean that there's not any kind of weight shift at all. So I'm going to focus on kind of having that slight hip bump forward as I strike the ball and finishing a little bit more dynamically and less static. And point number 5, and this one might be one of the most interesting to me. And again, I alluded to it a little bit in the last one, that there is a bit of a weight shift in Jim's swing, but not to the back foot and then back to the front. Instead, Jim apparently applies more and more weight to his lead foot throughout the swing. The reason I say this, I noticed in one of his recent videos that he almost on his trail foot, the back edge of it almost comes up off the ground. So I asked Jim about this in the comments to that video. And I said, in this video, it looks like your trail foot almost lifts a bit in the backswing, almost as if you are pressing against the inside of your back foot, but the outside of your back foot is off the ground. I've never noticed this before. And then Jim responded. He said, Golf Quest, copy that. What you're seeing is weight loading heavier onto my lead foot throughout the swing. What my trail foot does is a result of what I'm doing with my lead foot. So there you go. He's actually feeling more pressure added to his lead foot throughout the golf swing. I'm definitely not doing that. So now I have this new swing thought that as I take my backswing and follow through, I should actually be feeling more pressure on my front foot, which is strange. I was so focused on staying still and, keeping the weight exactly the way it was. But in fact, Jim's adding pressure to his lead foot. And then as some people have pointed out, it seems like he's shifting a little tiny bit on the downswing as well. So I'm going to try to apply these over the next little while, see how I do. But I do think these are all mistakes that were causing me not to be as successful as potentially I could be with this swing. Tell me what you think. If you've noticed anything else with my swing or you've noticed anything else with yourself, little tips and tidbits that would be helpful to others, please throw it in the comments below. I love growing and learning about this swing together. So keep it coming. Make sure you hit that like button as well and subscribe if you haven't already to the channel. It's much appreciated. And we'll see you next time on Golf Quest.